good evening to all of you who are tuned in to Pure TV in anticipation to watch the grand festival, the Kandy Esala Perahera of 2014. In the hills of Kandy, surrounded by the salubrious cool weather and the beautiful mountains of Honnaskirya and Hantana, the drums beat, the bells of the elephants ring, and the whip crackers crack their way through the streets of Kandy, giving it a start to 2014, the Kandy Esala Perahera. By tradition, the whip crackers, called the Kasa, lead the way to the Perahera. These whip crackers bring the message to thousands of people lined along the streets of Kandy today to watch this grand festival. People throw coins in appreciation for their message that the Perahera is no far away. You see them collecting the presents given to them by millions of spectators lined along the streets of Kandy. It is said that during the times of the kings in the hill country of Sri Lanka, these whip crackers accompanied the king front and fore on their journey to inspect the villages and the living conditions of the people. The weather conditions in Kandy is traditional, and before the Perahera begins, it is usually a happening that rains do fall to this city. And today you see the wet roads, and the folk tale is that these rains come down to wash the streets in reverence of the sacred tooth relic. The Devadana Nilame placed the sacred casket on the ceremonial tasker today at 7:50 p.m. All these are done at auspicious time. The Kandy Esala Perahera is divided to three sections. The first 5 days, the four Devales, the Natha, Vishnu, Khatragama and Patini, they conduct 5 days of Perahera inside the shrines of each god. The next 5 days is the Kumbal Perahera. The Kumbal Perahera is conducted in lesser morals and lesser decorated, and so it is called the Kumbal Perahera. But I promise you, what you are going to witness tonight is a grand spectacle which is known to be the most beautiful and the most glamorous religious event in the world. These whips are made out of an indigenous plant called hana. It is a cactus, no doubt. Walking in the streets of Kandy city today in the afternoon, we were able to see thousands of people lined along the streets to watch the spectacle, and they were seated from almost mid-noon. It is believed that if children see this Perahera, they are rid of various diseases which are contagious and infectious. So the folk from the villages right round, plus people coming all the way from faraway towns like Polonnaruwa, Anuradhapura, Badulla, wherever it is in Sri Lanka, to watch this Perahera. And they receive the blessings of the gods for doing so. The first Kumbal Perahera 2014 of the Kandy Esala Perahera. This 15-day ceremony is full of traditions and customs. People undisturbed by the showers, waiting eagerly to witness this grand pageant. Starting with the cup planting ceremony of the four Devales, and then the conducting of 5 days of Perahera, which is conducted inside the shrine rooms of the Devas. On the sixth day, the Sri Dalada Maligawa Perahera joins and parades the streets of Kandy. Then the fire dances. There is a lot of folk tale behind these whip crackers and these fire dances. Some people tend to believe that the crackers symbolize thunder and then the fire symbolizes lightning. Most of the religious ceremonies conducted in Sri Lanka are believed to be conducted in hope of timely rain, as Sri Lanka was a very successful agricultural country in the good old days. These artists start their training from very young age. The numbers of these fire dances will increase and make it double when the Randoli Perahera starts in 5 days' time. That will be the 6th of August. The Kumbal Perahera is supposed to be conducted in a simpler way and with simple decorations, making it a simple ceremony. When the Randoli starts, you will see these dancers in more colorful costumes and these performers will increase, and some you will see in the Randoli Perahera performing this fire dance on stills. The Kandy Esala Perahera never changes its order. First the wheat crackers, then the fire dances, then the symbolic flags. You see a flag bearer carrying the national flag, which brings the message to all of us that this is nothing but a national ceremony. He is followed by 50 to 60 flag bearers of the Buddhist flag. This shows that this is a all Buddhist ceremony. Solemnly and very patiently they walk in this Perahera. But they are the detainees of the open prison of Palekale. These detainees who are serving their terms of punishment come to this ceremony to perform this religious art. And talking to some of them, they told me that it is an honor of a lifetime that they are given this chance. When the kings paraded the streets of their kingdom, they were escorted by armory, their soldiers, and these sword bearers symbolize the royal army. see the first tasker in the Perahera. This is Indi Raja from the Sri Dalada Maligawa. The Peramuni Rala riding on this elephant carries the list of lands, the Rajakaryas, and the whole history of the Dalada Maligawa in his hands. It is called the Lake Ammitya. This is the Gaman Hevisiya of the Sri Dalada Maligawa. The four main Panikal Gurunan says the heads of Rajakarya at the Sri Dalada Maligawa. The traditional Kandy and Hevisi. This troupe of drummers will be decorated during the 5 days of the Randoli, which you will witness through the same channel on those days. The Daula, the Tamatama, the Hornava, and the Talampota form the Gaman Hevisi. The second official riding on elephant back is the Gajanayaka Nilame. The Gajanayaka Nilame is the head of the elephant stables. He is responsible for all people who ride on the other elephants, carrying symbols and flags. He is also responsible for the arrangement of the Perahera. The elephants, place them in order. That is the Gajanayak Nilime, Mr. Jayawardhana, a school teacher by profession. The Gajanayak Nilime will wear his colored and decorated uniform when the Randoli Perahera starts. Today he carries a silver ankus which will be replaced by the gold one during the Randoli. I must say something about the elephant costumes. These elephant costumes have been designed specially for the Kumbal Perahera. The Nadungamui Raja. Nadungamui Raja will take more responsibility during the Randoli Perahera. The responsibility of carrying the sacred relics. The Gatabera, the traditional Kandyan drum. All these young artists are products of the dancing school of the Sri Dalada Maligawa. The Bulat Pada, an extracted dance from the Kohumba Kankarya, which is the most ancient ceremony in Sri Lanka. The history of the Kohumba Kankarya dates back to the time of King Vijaya. Like the drummers and the dancers, the elephants will also change their costumes to more decorated and more elaborate costumes during the Randoli Perahera. Third tusker carries his passenger with a Buddhist flag. It is a tradition to carry this Buddhist flag on elephant back. Kandula, all the way from the famous Kalaniya temple, come up to Kandy to take part in this Perahera. The coconut is one of the three main commodities, the export commodities of Sri Lanka: tea, rubber, and coconut. These dances carry a coconut flower. A coconut flower is considered a symbol of prosperity in Sri Lanka. It is commonly used in most of the ceremonies, the Shanti karmas of Sri Lanka. A symbol of purity and a symbol of success. A coconut flower has its place in Sri Lankan traditional weddings or any ceremony that may be of tradition to Sri Lanka. The fire torch bearers providing the light to this Perahera is also burning coconut. The dried coconut kernel, which is called copra. Raja from Kotte. Another dance from the training school of the Sri Dalada Maligawa. The Kandy Palia, also an extract from the Kohomba Kankarya. These juniors will learn the art of performing the Kandian dance and ultimately become a graduate when they become a West dancer, fully conversant with the Kohomba Kankari and all forms of Kandian dancing. Raja from Hettimulle in Kegol, walking up to Kandy to perform in this Perahera. This is the traditional Panteru dance of the Kandian form of dancing. In Sri Lanka, there are three main dancing traditions: the Sabragamwa, the Ruhuna, and then Kandy. These Panteru dances are typical Kandian dances. Gajaba from Yakkala is believed to be the tallest male elephant among the tame elephants of Sri Lanka. Gracefully designed elephant costumes, and all the elephants performing in today's Perahera in the Sri Dalada Maligawa are wearing similar costumes, which is a big change to this Perahera. And the difference that you see from other years is that there are no electric illuminations on any of these elephants, and I think it looks more glamorous without those electric lights. But as traditions call for, during the Randoli, you will see most of these elephants illuminated in electric bulbs. These costumes were designed and made to fit by a very young girl, a designer called Irandi in Calabria. Another traditional Kandian form of dancing, the Nayadi dances. The rains keep falling, but still the Perahera is gloriously making its way along the streets of Kandy. Various forms of folk dancing have developed in the Candian dancing, and this is a typical folk dance of Candian art. Muthu from the Muthiangan temple in Badula. These Tamil dances come all the way from Maligawa to Maligawa. Some of them are covering their drums to save it from raindrops. This weather will definitely change tomorrow, and you will see a more elaborate Perahera from tomorrow. That is Madhu from the Muthiangana temple in Badulla. The burning coconut. The kernels of copra fully on fire. The dancing, the drum beats, and the scent that you get from this burning copra gives you the real feeling of the Kandy Esala Perahera. The sword dancing symbolizes soldiers in war. again another folk dance of the Kandyan art. Elephants also learn to perform in the Perahera at very young age. Now you see them in their specially designed patchwork dresses performing in this Perahera. In the Peraharas elsewhere in the country, you see all three forms of dancing in Sri Lanka: the Ruhunu, Savargamu and Kandy. But the beauty is that with the Kandy Perahera, you see only the Kandyan form of dancing. And this is also a typical Kandyan art called the Nayadi. The talam is the instrument that they have in their hands. This is a basic instrument which is necessary to keep the rhythm of the dance. many young elephants learning the art of performing in the Perahera. Specially designed costumes for them. The Likeli, Savarang and the Rabang together. 3 folk dances together in colorful costumes. The red and white, very elaborate and very attractive. The single-tusked elephant of the Sri Dalada Maligawa stables. Ekadanta is believed to have brought luck, and since its addition to the Maligawa stables have grown up to 12 elephants. The two young tuskers belonging to the prelates, the Mahanakateros of the Askiria and Malwati chapter. Sindhu and Raju, a regular feature of the Kandy Esala Perahera. Another folk dance, a very popular one and a very colorful one too, the Dakati dance. The Dakata is used in the paddy fields of Sri Lanka for the harvesting of paddy crops. It is a venerated instrument of the folk people who do paddy cultivation in faraway villages. These group of dancers have come all the way from Ampara with their master Priyantha. Mian Raja from the Sri Dalada Maligawa stables. The first West dance group of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, Lasantha and his clan. The West dancing is the hallmark of Kandian dancing. After you graduate and become a fully fledged dancer, you are allowed to wear the headdress that you see, which is called Isaves. Isaves is a formation of 5 instruments which are known as the dress of the Kohomba Deviyo. Accompanied by Lasantha and the troupe is the Karya Karavana Korala, Shaminda Karunatilaka, walking in his official uniform, the chief of the Rajakarya. And then you see the sacred casket carried by Vasana, the tusker from the Runukatragam Devali, escorted by Singaraja and Burumaraja from the Sri Dalada Maligawa stables. And you see the sacred casket with all its glory, with all its gold trappings, placed in the silver Ransivige. The Kavikara Madua, which could only be seen in the Sri Dalada Maligawa Perahera, an ancient tradition that has been brought down from the Kandyan king's time. A family that has come down from generation to generation since the Rajasingha period. Children enjoying every moment of this grand pageant. The second best dancers of the Sri Dalada Maligawa will accompany the chief custodian of the temple, the Devadana Nilame, the 19th Devadana Nilame, Dr. Pradeep Nilangadale. The best dancers led by Peter Surasena and Sanjeeva. The hallmark of Kandyan dancing, the best dancers. the Diwali Nilame officiating in today's Perahera, keeping to tradition. He always participates in the first Kumbal Perahera. He wears a white costume to symbolize that this is still a simple ceremony and only the Kumbal Perahera. In the Randoli Perahera, he will wear his royal attire to give him the majestic look of the former kings. There he is, having served a 10-year term, and this is his 10th Perahera at his very young age of only 40 years. He has gone into history and as the only incumbent who has held the offices of the Basnayak Nilame of the Saman Devale, the Basnayak Nilame of the Ruhunu Mahakatragama Devale, and at the same time being elected as the Diwali Nilame of the Sri Dalada Maligawa. It is a feat that nobody else will achieve in the next 2 centuries. With the end of the Sri Dalada Maligawa Perahera, you will come to witness the first Devali Perahera, the Natha Devali. The Natha Devyo is believed to become the next Buddha. Traditional ABC group of the Natha Devali performing their Rajakala. the symbolic flag of the Natha Devio carried on the first elephant. Devotees dedicate a particular color to their god, and in Sri Lanka, the Natha Devio, the color dedicated is golden yellow. So you see most of the elephants in the procession of the Natha Devali wearing the golden yellow colored costumes. Is a very ancient drum of the Kandian art of dancing. Elephants dressed in yellow, dedicated to their god Natha. These Nayari dances will be replaced by West dances with the start of the Randoli. They do not wear their traditional headdresses to show that this is still but a simplified procession from the Randoli Perahera. The symbolic, the relic casket of the Natha Devyo, illuminated in yellow, elephants dressed in yellow, dedicated to their god. The golden ornaments placed in the Ransevige, carried on the back of this tusker, come all the way from the Kandy Vihare in Alutgama. Flowers being showered on the mighty god. The end of the Esala Perahera and the start of the Mahavishnu Esala Perahera. The Mahavishnu Devyo is believed to be the protector of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. Flags of the Satkorale, solemnly and proudly performing their duty to their God. In the folk tales of Sri Lanka, God Vishnu is believed to be the reincarnation of Rama. like I said, the color golden yellow is dedicated to God Natha. The color royal blue is dedicated to this mighty God Vishnu. The symbolic flag of the mighty God, carried on the back of Kandula from Badula, the Mutiyangana Rajamana Vihare. So much dedication to their God. Some of these dances, these folk dances like the Talam, the Likeli, also wear the God's color, royal blue. A decade ago, there was a huge threat to say that these traditions might die down with the shortage of elephants to participate in these Peraheras. But having seen today's, we see so many young elephants who will in the future be participating in the conduction of these Peraheras. I am sure some of the young children, having seen the young dancers, are wishing that they be a part of this Perahera one day. The blue elephants performing in the Perahera of the Vishnu Devali. The Savarang dance. These Savarangs were called Chamara or Semara. During the times of the kings, they were used to fan the majesty in honor to him. It's become a very popular folk dance today and could be seen in most of the Peraheras right around the island. The Panterua is believed to be golden ornament of goddess Partini. That's Dharmadasa, a very old Mahout, a very skilled one too. These dancers will change their headgear to the Isabes from the start of the Randoli. Traditionally, they do not wear that for the Kumbal Perahera. The golden ornaments of the God Almighty. The chief Kappahatya of the Vishnu Devali. The Planaqueen, which is called the Ransevige, is painted to Kandian art. But this will be changed to a silver and gold worked Ransevige once the Randoli Perahera starts. Banda, the elephant belonging to the chief custodian, the Devadana Nilame, Pradeep Nilangadala, is been sent to the Vishnu Devali to perform the royal rites today. Raja, trunk held in his mouth with his head held high, walking majestically in this perahera. the Nath Devale, the Vishnu Devale, and now the Katragama Devale, the god of war. God Katragama, popularly known as Kandy, in India, is venerated in Sri Lanka as a very powerful god and believed to be the leader in war. Flags in dedication of the god. A 15-day similar ceremony was conducted in his main temple in deep down south Sri Lanka, called the Mahakatragama Devali. Millions of people go there during a year to pay homage to their deity. The six-headed 12-armed god controls a lot of power and has developed a lot of belief among the folk of Sri Lanka. The traditional ABC of the Katragama Devali. Golden yellow to God Natha, royal blue to God Vishnu, and the color red dedicated to the mighty god Katragama. Hence, the elephants in this Perahera will be dressed in red costumes. Another troupe of Savaran dancers. The golden ornaments of the powerful god carried on elephant back, accompanied by these Candian dancers, who again would not wear their headdresses until the randoli, starting 6th. The chief Nayaka of the Kathakam Devali, coming all the way from India to participate in this Perahera, a tradition brought down from their generation. This elephant coming all the way from the Handala temple to perform his duties in the Kandy Esala Perahera, carry the golden ornaments of the Katargama Devio. The last section of the Perahera will be the Patini Devali, the only female goddess. Buddhist flags are carried in all the Devali Peraharas to symbolize that it is a all Buddhist ceremony. All these children will be blessed by the deities for good health and the belief in their mother's hearts will live with them until next year. People having got their efforts worth being seated by the sides of the roads from midday. Some making it a picnic, making traditional Sri Lankan food to bring along with them and eat it while they wait. A long wait until this Perahera approaches them. Having inspected the road, the Perahera Mawata today, before the procession, I would easily count up to 500,000 people watching this Perahera tonight. The traditional Panikalagun dances performing the Gamahevisi for the Patini Devali. Colorfully dressed Savarang dancers. Traditionally, in the Kandy Perahera, no female performers are allowed. But the only exception you will see in the Patini Devali Perahera, as the goddess Patini is a female deity herself. So you will see the first female dance maybe another troop or two may be added when the Randoli starts on the 6th night. Baby elephants starting at a very young age. So the Patini Devali official dance troupe accompanying the golden ornaments of goddess Patini. ornaments carried on elephant back again. So we have come to the end of the first Kumbal Perahera of the Kandy Esala Perahera in 2014. Please stay tuned to watch the proceedings of the next 9 days. If you are lucky enough to see the grand spectacle on the 10th, I think you are seeing the most beautiful, the most glamorous religious ceremony in the world. So let me wish you goodbye and good night from the studios of the Media Bureau of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, hoping to join up with you in the next days to come. Thank you.